Guys, today's the big day. It's my third year anniversary run streak. I've been running every day for 3 years since May 20th of 2022, and today's May 20th of 2025. So after my run today, I have been running at least 1 mile a day for 3 years. So today is a big run for me, and I'm excited. And yeah, let's get started. I'm thinking of doing 8 miles or so, maybe 10. And yeah, today's a big day. So 3 years building up to this moment. So I'm very excited. On May 20th of 2022, I decided to take the first steps in my run streak journey. Little did I know it would completely change my life and lead me to the place where I am today. I wanted to share my story with you guys and show you the impact that running has had on me. So here it is. Let's go all the way back. I was never really much of a runner. In my elementary and middle school years, I played soccer for my club team, and I wanted no part of running, whether that was in conditioning during practice, games, or whatever. I had no interest in running, and at that point in time, I wasn't even part of the school cross-country team. I was solely playing soccer. During the 2020 pandemic, my soccer practices were put on hold, and I was really left with nothing to do. In order to keep conditioning myself, I decided to start trying to take blocks around the neighborhood. At first, I found this really difficult. I couldn't even really complete a full lap, and the lap was probably less than half a mile. I was really having trouble completing the run, and I absolutely hated it during the hot summer months. But I got my first sense of running, and it gave me something to work towards. All I wanted to do was show up every day and maybe try my best to complete that one lap. I didn't do it for a long time, but every day, sometimes even twice a day, I would show up and try to run that lap around the block. Little did I know, this would be the first true steps in my running journey, well before I would even think about starting a run streak. I spent the summer of my 8th grade training to become a runner for my high school cross-country team. It was hard, and I was completely new. In fact, I was one of the only people joining the cross-country team that had no prior running experience. At that point, I decided that I would leave soccer completely in my past and try to pursue running as my new sport going into high school. The journey was certainly hard, and at many points I doubted whether I would even make the team or not. But eventually, come tryouts in the summer, I did make the team, and that fall season of cross country was one of my favorite seasons of sports in my life. For the first time, I felt really included in a team sport like cross country, and I realized that I'd properly fallen into running, and that would eventually lead me to where I am today. I continued my freshman year with winter track and spring track. I didn't enjoy those as much admittedly as cross country, but it certainly was fun. And really all I wanted to do was run. Come the end of my sophomore year, I continued to do the same seasons of running, and at the time I'd been following the run influencer Hella Sidibe, who had just completed his 5-year running streak, and his 5-year running streak anniversary was on May 15th of 2022. His group run was being held in Central Park, and I figured this would be the opportunity for me to go and see the person that I've been following online for so long and meet him and talk to him. So I went to that run streak, and it was certainly one of the best runs I've had in my life. 5 days later, on May 20th of 2022, I went on my first 3-mile run, telling myself that that was day 1 of my run streak, and since then I've never skipped a day. My run streak is very simple. I only have one rule, and that is that I must complete 1 mile or more for the run to count. I can't simply run a quarter mile around the block. It must be 1 mile. Other than that, I tell myself to enjoy, stay healthy, and really enjoy the sport that I'd initially fallen in love with for the reasons that I loved it for. I did not want to overwork myself or do anything like that. I just wanted to, get the chance to run every day because I loved it so much. Why not do it 7 days a week? Through early mornings, late night runs, when I was tired, sick, injured, even once I ran in an airport terminal just to get my run in during a layover, just to be extra safe. I have enjoyed every single day, even on days where I don't want to get out. I come back every single day knowing that I've never regretted a run. And that's one of the most important things that I've learned throughout my journey. But over these past 3 years, I've learned some key takeaways that I would love to share with you guys. And maybe it'll help you start a run streak or just help you on your normal running routine that you have week to week in your life right now. Okay, lesson number 1. Now this is really fitting given that I'm doing a run streak, but all I'm going to say is consistency is key. It's best to show up every day. Running as a sport doesn't get easier, you just get stronger. Those 10-mile runs and 5-mile runs, I couldn't even run half a mile at first, and now the most I've run, is 38 miles in one go. So running necessarily doesn't get easier, but you get stronger and more resilient to the sport. And the best runners and the ones that are dedicated show up every day. Now, every day, I don't mean literally every day. It could be 7 days a week like I do, or it could be 6 days a week, 5 days a week, 3 days a week. But showing up every day with the goal of bettering yourself is the most important thing. And that's what I've learned. Those who show up and those who are consistent will outperform everyone that has talent but doesn't want to make use of it. Lesson number 2, be sensible. I know it sounds a little bit boring, but this is one of the most important things I've learned. Live to fight for another day. On many runs, sometimes I feel tired, sometimes I have extreme soreness. Usually those don't stop me, but if I'm feeling an injury, if I'm feeling sick, then I realize, you know what? My goal is not to perform the best I can on this one day when I'm not feeling the best. It's to perform now, tomorrow, and 5 years down the line. You know, that next race that I have in a year and a half, I want to be doing good at that, and I don't want to sacrifice that just for having to complete, that one extra mile on my cooldown right now when I'm already exhausted. So the key is, work hard, and give yourself grace, just remember that you have to run tomorrow, you have the next week, you have the week after that, and even if you're not running every day, you have another time to perform, and it doesn't have to be right now, Give your body grace, because ultimately not everyone can run, and you should be grateful that you can in the first place, and I think that's the most important things I've learned. One thing that I've learned over time is if I'm having any extreme pain or fatigue, I cut my run short, and never once have I regretted cutting a run short. Not because it's something like as small as being a little bit sore that I would cut a run short, but more importantly, if I'm feeling injured or sick, I realize, you know what? Let me go back home, get some rest, and show up tomorrow feeling even better, and I've always been happy about making that decision. So that's lesson number 2. And my third lesson is experience over expertise. Try everything. That's the key. Over the past 4 years, not including the year before I started my run streak, I ran every distance up from as low as the mile, all the way up to 60 kilometers of running. So really try everything, and as a beginner runner or new runner or even intermediate runner, advanced even, try new distances. A lot of pro runners, they find that they expertise at the half marathon rather than marathon, but you're never going to know that unless you step up your distance or step down your distance and give yourself room to explore. Running is a sport that has no bounds, and I think it'd be hard to overwork yourself in one category. And it would also be better just to try other things, hop on that local trail, or try to run longer, or try to do a sprinting workout. There's so many ways to enjoy running, and it wouldn't make sense overworking yourself in one thing. Don't let yourself get bored, and remember, ultimately, you are the one controlling your run streak. Whether you're, running every day or not, you're the one that's pulling all the levers, and it's really your choice whether you want to go short, go long, anything like that. It's all up to you. So give yourself flexibility to enjoy. So as always, guys, put in the work, enjoy the process, be safe, and have fun. That's really all I have to tell you. That's what I've learned over those 3 years, and I can't wait for the next year. And as always, I'll be on my run tomorrow. I'm wishing you guys the best, and I'll see you later. Take care.